We will explore the relationship dynamics between Mafioso and Mother in the films Little Caesar, Scarface, and the TV series The Sopranos. Each of these exemplifies a relationship between a mother and a mafia boss. This relationship hinders the mafioso's development. Relationships between mafiosi and their mothers are plagued by tension resulting from the mafioso's desire for approval and the mother's reluctance to give this approval. This tension divulges the vulnerable spots within the mafioso. The only person with the power of influence over the mafioso is his mother. These larger-than-life figures act with ruthlessness towards others on the streets, but they are subservient to their mothers. No matter how successful a mafioso becomes, he will never win the approval from his mother, which is the approval that matters most.
Don't lie to me!
This is a script that describes the Little Caesars is seeking for help from his mother, that he need money to escape from the place from his enemy, and his mother agreed him to hide in her house but refused to give him enough money to escape because she said she didn't have that much, and just like said you have to be like you have to pay for the result that you be and mafioso. So the relationship between mother and son here just like show the negative perspective, because like usually mother in like the other family is kind and like giving all their have to their children, but in the Little Caesars, Little Caesar's mother show a attitude that didn't support her son so much, and like just offer limited help.
Now let's look at another good example of mother and son relationship also depicted in the movie Little Caesar, which is Anthony and his mother. Now Anthony at this point is struggling of which life he should choose, and he don't know whether should he follow his heart and get out of the mafia and be a dancer, or still valuing his friendship with Caesar, and he have no good ideas of which are the best choice, so he's using alcohol, smoking cigarette, trying to get away from all this mess, and still he do not have a good solution. And that's when his mother come in to support him and guide him to a good direction. And we can see in this scene that Anthony is in anxiety. He didn't know which way he should go. He's angry, and he's just trying to run away from all his troubles. But his mother was very patient. She comforts him and trying to remove all his pressure and his tiredness from the society, reminds him of the good memories in his childhood. And so we can see in this part that the lighting from the behind is trying to give us an idea that Anthony's mother is like a lighthouse to him, to his life, that shows him which way to go, shining him through the darkness. And we can see the lights on his mother's face, that she is almost like a goddess to this character. And that just forgive Anthony in heart of his guiltness or whatever, relieve him from these hard choices. And Anthony, you can see his state of mind has changed, that he no longer confuses. He now understands which are the most important thing in his life. He is relieved, and then he hugs his mother.
Father McNeil.
I'm an organizer now, and I get a lot of political contributions.
Sure you do.
In this scene, Tony Montana returns home for the first time in 5 years. He lies to his mother about what he does for a living, but he doesn't need to. Montana's mother already knows the money is illegitimate. She goes on to say that it is people like Tony that gives Cubans a bad name. She is disappointed in her son. The framing in the scene represents the troubled relationship of Mafioso and mother. Tony's mom is above Tony in the scene, and as his mother, she will always be above him. Tony disregards this innate complex due to his thirst for power. He shows his mother little respect and does not represent the typical mother-son relationship. This plays into the inappropriate relationship Tony has with his sister, Gina. Tony, like other mafioso, believes that he is above the law and breaches the ethical line even when it comes to family.
You think you can come into my house with your hotshot clothes and your jail manners and make fun of us?
Mama, you don't know what you're talking about.
No, that's not the way I am, Antonio!
Next, we will look at the TV series The Sopranos and examine Tony's relationship with his mother, Livia. Since Tony is a strong silent type, similar to how Sicilians ought to act, he fails to believe that any of his emotional issues should be talked about openly and believes that they, of course, could not be related to the tense relationship he has with his mother, Livia. In Franco Ricci's When Words Can Kill, it opens with the first 2 episodes of The Sopranos. Tony Soprano, a troubled mob boss, seeks help for his panic attacks, which seem to be largely caused by the women in his life. His tense relationship with women, and mothers in particular, is seen immediately when a nude female figure is placed above him in the scene. Once Tony enters Dr. Melfi's office, it is made clear that he is very sensitive about his relationship with his mother, and he fails to attribute any of his panic attacks and anxiety towards his own mother. Tony struggles with women mostly due to their use and reliance on words and his lack of words himself. This is very apparent with his mother, who often dominates any conversations and wins any arguments the two have. Tony eventually is faced with speaking about his relationship with his mother, Livia, in Melfi's office. This is a great source of stress in his life, given that anything he does for his mother makes her unhappy. Whether it be gifts or care, Livia is resistant to any of his efforts to win her over. She is difficult and unloving to her son, yet he places her on a pedestal. Tony kills others on the street and runs one of the largest organized crime organizations, yet he places his mother on this pedestal and is submissive toward her.
Did you have these feelings of loss more acutely in the hours before you collapsed?
I don't know.